everybody, and welcome to the first Let's Talk of 2026. Our webinar tonight is called Focus to Flourish 2026. My name is Jennifer Brown, and I'm excited to be your host tonight. 10 years ago, this program helped me flourish, and I'm so grateful for Dr. Anderson, pictured here with me, and his habits of health system that has literally impacted and changed my health, my family, and my life. And my hope by the end of our webinar this evening is that you are excited about the possibilities that lie before us in this new year, that you're given some ideas on how to truly flourish and where to put your focus. Now, speaking of focusing, I have my 2026 glasses on, and I have a gift for all of you tonight. I've got a pair for you, so I'm gonna put I've got mine on, and if you would just reach through the screen or the podcast or wherever you're listening in from right now and just grab these glasses yourself. Here you go. Make sure you got it. And I'd like to invite you to put these on and to actually really imagine that it's December 31st, 2026. That's right. We're not sitting here now on January 5th, but it's the end of 2026. How are you feeling? What's your metabolic health like? What's your confidence like? What are you doing and what are you experiencing? Because you focused in during the year and created the outcome that you truly desired. How's your energy at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon? What are you wearing? Who are you surrounded by? And if not now, I would love to encourage you to take a few minutes sometime later tonight or in the next day or two and really picture your future self. Now, anybody's road to better health is never going to be a perfect journey or a straight road, right? There's going to be twists and turns and speed bumps and potholes. Guess what? It's called life. The question is, how do we do life? And what I want you to do is get such a vivid picture of your future self waking up every morning, and before your feet even hit the ground, picture yourself saying, "Good morning." Like, close your eyes, picture that healthy version of you, say good morning to him or her. And then when life throws you something unexpected in that day, you can stop and challenge and even ask your future self, "Hey, self, what choice do you want me to make right now?" And here's the thing, if you can implement this picture and partner with your future self, then again, no matter what life throws at you that day, this entire year, or whatever potholes you encounter on your road, you're going to be able to create the outcome to truly flourish. Now, let's be real. Here we are in January. There's probably a lot of people right now, probably some of your friends and family, that are making quote unquote New Year's resolutions, right? But the second they hit a pothole, it's like they pull over their health bus and they just like park it. Or sometimes they even start maybe moving backwards. Have you ever done that? I know I've done that with my own health. I got a flat tire, and in real life, we would never get out and shoot the other four out, right? So why would we do that with our health? But we do it all the time. But here's the thing, that's not going to be you in 2026. So therefore, I invite you to partner with your future self and be reminded this evening that every day we've got choices, and our choices are what form our habits, and our habits is what forms our health. But I also want to say this evening that tonight's not about a number on a scale. It's not about weight loss. It's about life gain. So many of us have taught that, when we're picturing our future self or we're thinking about health, that it's equaling to weight loss. But weight loss is just a side effect to the choices we're making. It's not the destination. However, we've got to be really intentional as well. We don't just drift into health, we decide, and then we align our daily choices. So that's why it's important to picture your future self and align with your future self, letting you, partnered with your future self, make these daily choices. Health is not built in January. It's built on ordinary Tuesdays, ordinary Thursdays, consistent weekends, so that our weekends don't become our week end, right? So tell me in the chat who's truly desiring to flourish in 2026. Put a me in the chat. If you're on with us live this evening, or if you're listening to our podcast as a recording, say it out loud wherever you are right now. Like, decide, draw a line in the sand. Repeat daily with your future self. I choose to flourish. Because if we don't do that, flourishing doesn't happen by accident. It happens when we focus intentionally on the habits that support life for the long run. And that's where these habits of health come in. Not rules, not restrictions, not perfection, but ownership. Ownership. And we flourish when our health is integrated, not fragmented. So let's talk about the 6 macro habits that work together. And this evening, I'm excited to bring on a co-host with me who's going to help us know how to take ownership, where to put our focus so that we can truly flourish. Let me introduce my friend, Erin. Erin, welcome to the webinar. I'm so glad you're here. Share with us a little bit about your story and how you have flourished with these habits.
Yeah, thank you, Jen. And hello, my friends. If we have not met, I'm Erin Barenfoos, and my husband Jeff and I have been coaching together for 9 years. He actually beat me to the punch and has been at it for 14 years. But I'm just so glad that you are here tonight because this conversation is personal to me. Because for a long time, I told myself that I was doing all the things. I was eating pretty healthy. I was pushing harder. I was thinking more discipline was the answer. But what actually changed my life was partnering with a coach. It was leaning into a clinically proven program that healed my metabolism. And it was learning to focus on the right habits and continuing to contend even when life got busy or messy. I stopped chasing extremes, which for me meant excessive exercise, binge eating, and alcohol. And I started committing to foundational habits, the ones that support my body, my energy, my mindset, and my relationships. And over time, those macro habits stacked. And that's what created real sustainable change. So tonight is about helping you to do the same, learning how to focus so that you can truly flourish. I think we're going to dive kind of right into our 6 macro habits tonight. Jen, does that sound like a plan?
It does. And how great to get to hear your story. I'm so glad that our program has changed your life too. Yeah, Dr. Anderson, for maybe some people don't know, he's the co-founder and the medical director of our program. And obviously, he's helped change both of our lives, right? And millions of people around the US. And he left critical care because he wanted to get on the other side of dieting, right, Erin? He wanted to teach people not how to diet, but how to create health, because there's a difference, right? But what he knew is that we actually had to learn and then implement the habits of health. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and dive in, Erin. Let's tell people what are these six macro habits that Dr. A wants us to flourish in.
Yeah, so you can see on the screen tonight, we're going to go through sleep, healthy surroundings, and weight management. We're also going to cover healthy eating and hydration, mindset, and our surroundings. So I think that, Jen, you're going to get us started today.
Yeah, let's talk about sleep tonight. It's honestly a habit that I think Erin is wildly underestimated. And it's literally I think, the unsung hero of health, right? And sleep is not passive, it's active recovery. So when we're sleep deprived, hunger hormones increase, cravings get louder, motivation gets quieter, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but emotional regulation drops, right? So let's look at where our focus should be with this habit. The first thing is just rhythm over perfection. Consistency is what's important here. I'd encourage you to aim for similar bedtimes and wake times most days, right? And don't quit just because one night is off. And if you can kind of get into that routine, consistency teaches your body when it's safe to rest. And that's actually when energy and metabolism improve. The other thing I'd encourage you to do is just protect the sleep. Don't force it. Create a simple wind down rhythm and honor rest as productive, really protect your sleep. I used to brag that I only slept 5 hours a night because I was getting all these other things done. But looking back, I can see how it was sabotaging my health, right? Because I thought it was a waste of time to sleep. But sleep is not lazy, it's biological repair. And that rest is what supports our hormones, our mood, and decision making. And by the way, if you have a life book, all of these points about sleep are in Dr. A's life book in Element 10. So many more tips on sleep. But if you can focus on these few points in your sleep in 2026, you will flourish, as it says here, because when sleep is supported, energy steadies and cravings quiet, and life just feels easier. So Erin, let's talk about eating and hydration and that wonderful habit.
Yeah, let's do that. I tell everyone adults should have bedtimes too. So sleep. Let's
Yes,
let's do the sleep thing.
love it.
But along the lines of eating and hydration, so when it does come to eating and hydration, this is not about dieting and restriction. It's about regulation. So your body thrives on rhythm and consistency. Blood sugar, hormones, energy, focus, and even your mood are deeply influenced by when you eat, what you eat, and how well you hydrate. So we need to start our day within 30 minutes of waking up. Eating early is going to help you regulate your natural cortisol rhythm and stabilize your blood sugar. So when we delay food, your blood sugar often drops later, and that shows up like fatigue, irritability, cravings, and overeating. However, nourishing your body early signals safety and sets a steady metabolic tone for the day. Like, doesn't that just feel good already? Including protein at every meal is also so important. Protein is the foundation for blood sugar balance, sustained energy, and appetite control. It slows digestion, it regulates spikes and crashes, and it helps curb cravings, especially for sugar and refined carbs. Consistent protein also protects lean muscle, which is essential for long-term metabolic health. And our incredible program promises 98% of lean mass retention in 16 weeks. Heck yes.
Heck yes.
Hydration, as I'm sitting here sipping, right? So hydration matters more than people realize. It's got to be the non-negotiable. So water supports digestion, it detox pathways, cellular function, and metabolic efficiency. So it's just a really fancy word of saying how well your body uses what you give it. So even mild dehydration can feel like hunger or exhaustion. And when hydration is consistent, energy improves, appetite regulates, and your body functions more efficiently. So I would love if in the chat you could share what your personal daily goal is. This mom is rocking about body weight percent in water. I know that's uncommon, and this is also not a competition, but what is your personal daily water goal? Because when you fuel your body consistently, your body stops fighting you.
Oh, that's just so good. It's
Mm.
so good. Great reminders. Well, cheers to that. And let's kind of talk about another macro habit, which doesn't seem so obvious as you're eating and hydration, and that's our healthy surroundings. Um, what I'd encourage you this year in 2026 to focus on what you allow in. So think conversations, think media, um, and messages. What are you listening to? What are you watching? Because all of those things shape belief, and that input becomes our identity over time. And the other thing I'd encourage you to think about this year is what you make easy. What's visible and accessible gets repeated, right? So like if you're at the grocery store and you're allowing those chips and Oreos and quote unquote healthy nuts, and yet you know that's your kryptonite, right? And you bring it into that environment. Now you're at home, something's got you stressed, and what do? You turn to the pantry, right? And then, or maybe you didn't sleep that 7 hours, and so you're actually tired. You just think you're hungry. So again, you've got the munchies. And now you're turning to food. And if it's in your surroundings, that's going to be hard. And you're going to have to go to battle in that moment, right? Because surroundings weren't quite optimal. So just design your environment to support your goals and make it easy. So then in those hard moments, you're not having to do battle then. And then the third thing about surroundings would be to focus on who you surround yourself with. Supportive relationships elevate behavior. I think they say, Erin, that we become like the five people that we're around. And that's part of why coming to this Real Talk each week, connecting with your coach, connecting with our community, inviting maybe others to contend for their health so that you're surrounded by people who are creating that optimal well-being, and maybe even explore coaching them, because if you teach something, you're probably going to learn it at a deeper level. Whatever it is you can do this year in 2026 to surround yourself with the what and the who, growth just thrives in safe, encouraging spaces. And so you focus on these things, as it says on this slide, you will flourish, because when your surroundings support your values, healthy choices just feel natural instead of forced. And again, a lot of that information can be found in element 5 in your life book, all about surroundings. And Erin, I'll just say, I'm glad that I'm surrounded by you, my friend.
Mm. I was just thinking the same thing. I'm so glad we have all our friends here tonight because this is probably the most underrated but valuable part of our community, is just being here around people. This is so wonderful. So let's keep moving forward. I would love to dive into our macro habit of exercise and movement. So I don't know about anybody else, but I kind of grew up thinking that more cardio equals better results. But what I know now is that excessive cardio can actually increase stress hormones, especially for women. So, strength training is your friend. It is your very best friend. And strength training is going to improve insulin sensitivity, or how well your body responds to insulin. So, again, I'm going to dumb it down. I know some of you are smarter than me, but insulin is the hormone that helps move sugar or glucose from your bloodstream into your cells to be used for energy. So that means that it's helping your body use food more effectively and supports a healthier metabolism. So when you regularly use your muscles, your body gets better at using the fuel that you eat instead of storing it like fat. Who doesn't want that? Ah, so this leads to more steady energy throughout the day, fewer blood sugar crashes, and fewer cravings. So over time, it also helps protect against stubborn weight gain and energy loss, which becomes especially important as we age. So movement should not be, it shouldn't be punishment. It should actually build into self-care, not self-punishment. Exercise should enhance your energy. It should improve your mood and support recovery, not leave your body feeling depleted or inflamed. So when movement is aligned with proper nutrition, rest, and stress management, it becomes a very powerful tool for healing and regulation. And Dr. A encourages choosing movement that feels sustainable, enjoyable, and supportive so that it can become a lifelong habit rather than a short-term fix. So we're not exercising to burn off food. We're actually moving to build a resilient body.
Ooh, that
Mm.
that's good, and it's touching a little bit of a sensitive. I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but I was on a program where I could earn points if I exercised, or if I ate
Mhm.
something I wasn't supposed to, I could go work it off, and gain those
Mhm.
points back. So thank you for covering that. I appreciate that. And another macro habit here that we want to touch base on is weight management. So when we look at weight management, Dr. Anderson says, we don't want to, first of all, force weight loss. We want to create the conditions for our body to thrive, just kind of like what you were saying, Erin. And here's the beautiful thing to be reminded of. Our coaches are not coaching us to a number on a scale. They're helping us to get where we want to go so that we're metabolically healthy, and then have the tools to stay there and enjoy the life and the health we've created, right? But Dr. A knew that we did have to get some of these numbers in check in order to do that. And that's why weight management is one of the macro habits that we want to be working on. And so focus on in 2026, supporting that metabolic health that Erin was just talking about, nourishing consistently to reduce the stress signals, creating that environment where the body feels safe to release that weight and focus on that visceral fat and, like Erin said, increasing the muscle. Consistency with with structure, predictable rhythms is what calms that nervous system. So like that habit Erin talked about, when your body can count on you to fuel it every 2 to 3 hours, your pancreas will thank you and your body will trust you, thus releasing that weight, right? And always and forever, progress over perfection. Remember what I said about the tires at the beginning. If you get a flat tire and you make a choice that's not as optimal, don't go shoot out the other three tires. Make the next best decision and you will be able to, get that, keep that weight management in check. And here's how you're going to flourish in 2026. When metabolism is supported, weight responds naturally and health becomes sustainable. So, Erin, let's head to mindset because we know it's the 6 inches between our ears where this battle lies, and we got to take our mind along for the journey. So, talk to us a little bit about this macro habit.
Yeah, let's do that. So, element 4 in the life book. And when we talk about mindset, this isn't about motivation or positive thinking, it's about ownership. One of the most impactful frameworks that I've heard from Dr. A is the idea of living above the line versus below the line. Above the line means taking personal responsibility, being open, curious, and willing. And below the line is where excuses, blame, and waiting for circumstances to change live. And the truth is, we all fall below the line at times. The difference isn't whether or not it happens, it's how quickly that we recognize it and choose to come back up. Mindset is also about becoming the dominant force in your life. Who has heard that from Dr. A before? If you're not leading your choices, something else will. Stress, old habits, emotions, or your environment. Mindset also shifts when we stop focusing only on the outcome and we start focusing on identity. So instead of saying, I'm trying to lose weight, we shift to, I am someone who honors my health. I am someone who keeps commitments to myself. I am a healthy person. So I would love if you would just share your positive I am statement in the chat. We'll kind of keep moving along, but I would love if you would just take a couple minutes and share that with us. Because when your identity changes, your behaviors naturally follow. And so just want to have you ask yourself this question. Take a couple seconds to pause. Where in your life are you operating from an old identity? And what would change if you chose to act from the identity of the person that you are becoming instead? Yeah, look at the chat. So I will say it again. Where in your life are you operating from an old identity? And what would change if you chose to act from the identity of the person that you are becoming instead? And I get super excited as we close out this portion to introduce my friend who is operating from such a healthy identity. I want to introduce you to someone who embodies what it looks like to focus on these habits and to truly flourish. Melissa is a physician, but what stands out most about her is her heart. She is just a ray of sunshine. She's warm, she's joyful, and she is just deeply caring. And from the very beginning, she has been such a delight to get to know. Her journey is incredibly inspiring, but not just because of the physical changes, but because of the confidence, the clarity, and the vitality that she's reclaimed. So she's shown us what's possible when you stay focused on the right habits even while carrying the weight of a demanding career and a full life. Melissa, you're so deserving of this renewed health and confidence that you've gained, and I'm just beyond grateful that you're willing to share your story with us tonight.
I'm excited to be here. As she said, I'm Melissa. I practice family medicine, and so one of those pieces that is dear to my heart that we should practice what we talk about all day long. And so part of that came down to, I think, really taking the hard, deep look at myself and saying, where is your metabolic health? And it was getting to be in just a rough place, from med school to residency to starting a career to having children. Each place seemed like I was gaining more excuses and adding another 10 pounds. And when I looked back, I have a very strong family history of type 2 diabetes in my family. And I was starting to, I think, knock on the door of um, those blood sugars raising. My A1C was getting a little bit higher. And I knew I needed to make some changes. I needed to take a little bit of that control back. And I had done the program once before because I saw a friend do it. I lost, a portion of weight and I quit. And you know what? I didn't work on all of those other pieces that they beautifully described tonight. And you know what? All of it came right back. And that's when I kind of got introduced to Erin, and we really sort of dove into why I wanted to do this and how I was going to set this up and how I was going to lay out the framework over this period of time to make it part of just my life. And so being proactive within those nutritional places, making it easy because I am busy. I didn't want something that was going to be complicated. We talked about how are you going to improve your sleep habits? How are you going to improve some of those physical movements? How are you going to make those changes? And slowly, each one of those pieces started to fall into place, all while the weight was just sort of falling off, and I was feeling better. And I'd be telling her like, oh, I'm feeling so much better and I have so much more energy. And people around me are starting to make notice. And some of those biggest people in my life are my little ones. I have a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, who we talk about not what does my weight look like? What does this look like? We talk about mom wants to be healthy. Mom wants to build strength. And, that's the things that they then mimic back to me. And so I'm hoping to set up a generational change instead of just kind of letting it kind of snowball into all of that. And so I'm forever grateful for this program.
Thank you. I just have like chills and so connected. Thank you for blessing us with your story tonight, Melissa. Just
Yes,
so
thank you.
powerful. Thank you.
Oh, Melissa, congratulations. And if anybody was listening to that and felt connected, put the word connected in the chat. And as we begin to wrap up and we step into 2026, again, I just want to encourage you, picture yourself flourishing, just like Melissa. Partner with your future self. And then what are the little things, Erin, that we can do to truly partner with our future self and flourish?
Yeah, so we just have to choose those life-giving habits that truly support your body in the season of life that you are in. We have to focus less on perfection and more on what actually helps your body feel better, stronger, and more energized. We got to take ownership of your health without judgment because shame, my dear friends, has never created lasting change. But when you do that, you build a version of health that's realistic, sustainable, and something that you can live with long term.
That's right. When you focus on health, not dieting, you partner with your future self, flourishing becomes inevitable. Inevitable. So, who's here ready to flourish in 2026? You now know what to focus on. We reminded you of that tonight. Erin's going to be contending for it. I'm going to be contending. Melissa's going to be contending. And I have a feeling every one of you tonight are going to contend. So thank you for stepping into your future self. Erin, it's been so fun to partner with you. Just a quick reminder before we go tonight that tomorrow, Dr. A is going to continue to help us flourish. And the first Tuesday of every month, you should have marked in your calendar. But his topic tomorrow is from autopilot to awareness. Erin talked earlier about awareness, right? And he's going to help us dive even deeper tomorrow. Don't miss that. And then just a little invitation. We have a tour kicking off all over America. We've got some big events happening this upcoming Saturday on the 10th. Connect with your coach. Your coach can probably give you some more information about how to get plugged in. They are happening literally all over the United States, but would love for you to be able to join in as you continue to contend. And then, of course, come back next week. We have tonight's webinar and all of our past podcasts on recording for you. You can also find them on YouTube. And the next week's topic is going going to be about that Getting America Healthy Tour, what happened, how you can grab onto that information. So again, we can all continue to flourish in 2026. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks again, Erin and Melissa, and we will see you all next week on Let's Talk.